Aye.
Okay, so I'll start with the president is back after his private visit. I hope we reduce such private visits, because if you're accountable to the people, you need to be able to tell the people about your whereabouts. But for his supporters, Daddy, Oyoyo, Daddy, Oyoyo, Kileba Amubo. But while he was away, a lot of problems happened. Insecurity, kidnapping, I can go on and about that. But what is most pertinent is about food. And the question is, how can we stop this? Food inflation has been going on for a while now. So that's why this meeting, to me, is very hypocritical. But for the sake of the supporters of this administration, they'll say, oh, praise them when they do something. Oh, I praise them for the meeting. But it's hypocritical, and I'll tell you why. It is not today food inflation had been rising by the statistical figures. So if it took a protest for you to have a meeting, is it that you were not checking the facts in the first place? But for those that want praise, I give it to them. Kudos on this meeting. Let's now come down to food. What are the major problems we are facing? Some people were saying in the meeting, oh, there's no food shortage and all of that. As at last year, we were ranked serious on the global hunger index. The hunger in Nigeria is serious, over 28.3% on the ranking table. Also, consistently, we've had an increasing number of people that are food insecure. The number rose from 17 million to about 25 million. Consistently, insecurity has stopped people from planting in all those planting belts in the country. People cannot cultivate. Mango and bokos that we talk about so much that they were killings are areas that they would normally plant potatoes and the likes. But I think the most important problem we're not looking at is even the situation with our silos. How do we even store the food we have? Government said to have about 33 silos in this country. In 2006, they claimed they were going to build 1 million mini silos for farmers. Today, we have not seen anything. Those 33 silos, only a couple of years ago, they said they were going to concession some of them and be making 6 billion annually. What have we made for the concession? So when we say we want to release strategic grain reserve, we've had stories dating back to 2016 that was talking about how empty those silos are. Those silos are supposed to have a capacity of about 1.3 million metric tons of grains. What capacity of metric tons of grain do we have in the strategic grain reserve? Those are the questions we should start by asking. What's the viability of our strategic grain reserve in the country? I know the private sector have some, they'll be able to concession some from the government. How is the viability of that? Is it from the private sector you want to take? Secondly, what's the food plan for this administration? They talked about cultivating 150,000 hectares as palliative during COVID last year. If we had cultivated at that time, are we not supposed to have the first food cycle now? So what's going on? What is the strategic plan to be able to nip in the bud the problem of post-harvest losses? Also, pre-harvest losses. What is the food sustainability plan per crop in the country? In the 60s, Nigeria used to produce 1/3 of the tomato eaten in the West African sub-region, but today we have difficulties with tomato and onion and the likes. So these are the real conversations I feel we should bring to the table as regards this food plan, because it needs a holistic looking at.
All right. Rufai, we aired this live yesterday on Arise with regards to the CBN governor appearing before the National Assembly. But what's your take on his claims as to the reason why there's pressure on on dollar reserves in Nigeria?
I'm going to sing a quick song. Fela used Ojuelegba to demonstrate what was happening in Nigeria many years ago when he sang Pafuka na Kwench. And he said, for Ojuelegba, moto they come from north, moto they come from south. Policeman no dey for center. Na Pafuka be that you, danku eleke. That's exactly what's happening in Nigeria. This is the same Nigeria. Now in the 70s, UCH in Ibadan was one of the best healthcare centers in the Commonwealth that people used to leave Canada to come and deliver children in Nigeria The Saudi royal family, Saudi and Qatar that they've gone, fought a law far ahead of us, used to come here for healthcare. All of a sudden, healthcare is gone. Ask how much of those monies that you say we are spending on healthcare in the last 10 years is going to India. This was the same India that a couple of years ago, their healthcare, but they revamped it, mostly private sector led. I would also like to ask him, how much of that medical tourism money did President Buhari spend? How much? That was the president that was a tourist for healthcare. That was, close to half of the year was out of the country on healthcare. So how much did they spend on dollars for his parking alone for his presidential jets? How much did the UK doctors collect from Nigeria in Forex on President Buhari's healthcare? You see, when you have a domino effect happening, that's what we're doing. Look at our university system. Ayo, at a point in this country, if you schooled abroad, they used to laugh at you. In the 80s here, if you schooled abroad, the schools like Ife and all of that, the federal universities were prominent. But we all know the domino effect, how the university system started to decay after the Ali must go protest. And then ASU started having series of strikes. So when all these strikes were happening, we did not know that people were going to be going abroad and looking for alternatives. And let's also extrapolate the figures. It's in the last 8 years, those numbers tripled. As at 1998-99, we just have 15,000 students going abroad. In the last 8 years, it rose to about 70,000 from 50,000. It's projected 2022 now to be about 100,000. So all the things we used to have, then we no longer have it. Very solid healthcare system, no longer the case. Very solid education system, no longer the case. We have, like Tracy Chapman says in her song Fast Car, we have driven Nigeria in a fast car to quick oblivion. And we should all take the responsibility. In the 80s, there were no amount of importation of Tokumbo cars. We had Peugeot Automobile in Nigeria. Let's ask them, what happened to Pan? What happened to Volkswagen? Didn't these people one billion generally, didn't they eat it up? So we destroyed our country by ourselves. And now we are saying, how would we not be import dependent foreign wise? All of these failures are a reflection of the country. Except we change, we can. How much did the same politicians spend on medical tourism to all these countries?
Right.
Thank you for watching. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing so you won't miss out any of our latest video.